everybody. Welcome to Active Reload. What episode are we on? 57. 57. We're going to talk about Borderlands. It has a movie coming out, and you, me, and him might be the only ones that actually know about it because it's going to bomb like crazy, it seems like.
It already did, by the way.
Bombing like crazy. So talk a little bit about that. Movie, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Video game movies. We'll talk about some Chinese games. You know,
dominating.
They're big. We're going to talk a little about that. Valve. We'll talk about Valve.
Yeah.
And then, we'll wrap it up. Noble Games coming out. What's up? Active Reload, episode 57.
What's up?
Borderlands, ever heard of it? It's a movie now. Don't know why they decided to do that, but there's a movie.
They hired the main actress,
Eli Roth,
on dialysis, playing an action hero.
Who's the one that's on dialysis?
Kate Blanchett. Clay.
You better stop it with that. Kate Blanchett's perfect. She's gorgeous too. Perfect. Literally perfect. Isn't it Eli Roth? I think Eli Roth is the one that's directing it.
He did it. I don't know what he's...
That makes me really sad because Eli Roth has done some good stuff.
Yeah.
He's in Inglourious Bastards. He directed something else that I know that I've seen that I actually liked. But the curse of the game movie is not necessarily back, but this is also why nobody trusts the industry of filmmaking to get a video game.
So it had the worst box office opening of the year.
It's a very obvious attempt at a cash grab, and it's not going to succeed, which makes me happy.
It's made for millions, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's only made 8% of its budget back. Good job.
The only people I feel bad for are the behind the scenes people, the writers, the producers,
the writers,
the camera people, the foghorn leghorn people. That's not a real thing.
It's movies like this that make me root for AI writing dialogue.
They probably did, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be stunned by that. Wouldn't be stunned to find out that, hey, guess what? We wrote a lot of this movie using AI. Wouldn't be blown away by that.
You know what's really funny, James? Borderlands, I don't think is very... It's kind of a comedy game, right?
Yeah.
It's not really funny. The jokes always fall flat. I think Claptrap was funny for the first hour of the first game.
That's the funniest character.
Yeah.
Which
Handsome Jack is sarcastic, and he's pretty funny.
He's funny, but he's not in this game or movie. No. I would hope.
There are so many cool things in this game that we have done that are kind of funny when you think back about it. Basically, like when you pick up a gun, you only hold it for about 10 minutes and you throw it away and get another gun. They should have used that bit in the movie, which I hear they didn't. Claptrap falling downstairs.
Yeah, this is Mortal Enemy. The thing that I just wish it didn't happen. There's not really many games that I look at where I'm like, I don't understand how they could make this into a movie, and this is one of them. I just don't understand how they could have possibly succeeded in making this a movie other than put a couple big name actors in it, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, and
Jack Black
it'll sell.
Plays Claptrap. Why don't you just have the real voice actor?
That's a great question.
He's the most iconic.
That's a great question.
Voice and
because
character in the movie.
Nobody who played, who directed the movie, who wrote the movie had ever heard of Borderlands, the video game, up until this point. I don't want to guarantee that, but it feels like they were just like, oh, okay, there's money to be made here. They said that beforehand because people love this video game. Are we going to play it? No, I'm not going to play video games because it's for nerds. So I'm just going to make a movie about it. It's awful. It makes me angry because there are so many good ways to do, like there's so many good franchises and or regular games that you could just make movies off of. Look at The Last of Us. They did a TV show. I understand that. The TV show is very solid. Very solid TV show.
Not really.
It is very solid.
I guess solid is a...
You are in the minority for
solid is a good term for it.
It's very solid. It does. It accomplishes exactly what it sets out to do.
was also made. It was directed by the game director too.
Right.
So that
he
helps.
had a seat in the writing booth or whatever, the writing room. So stuff like that, and then you get it happens with Borderlands. It happened with Uncharted.
Uncharted wasn't bad,
but it's also it's a movie,
bastardization.
It's a movie we've seen.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
It's just Indiana Jones, but called Uncharted.
It's true.
So I don't know. There's just these versions of these games that I think for whatever reason, Hollywood or whoever thinks they're going to make a lot of money because it's a big franchise in the video game world, and then it just bombs because they don't follow anything that's good about the video game.
Here's the thing. I think this movie came out 10 years too late.
Yeah, true. Borderlands 3 came out 5 years ago,
and
it also
took 5
wasn't
years
great
to become a sequel to part 2, which was awesome.
And apparently, I think the
2012, 11.
Yeah, I think the Gearbox the Gearbox head, I can't remember his name.
Pitchford.
Yeah, Randy Pitchford.
Randy.
I think he said something to, and I'm totally paraphrasing here. I apologize if I'm misquoting this.
I know what you're talking about.
But I believe he said he's really happy that the movie is driving people to the game instead of vice versa. Which is good. I don't think he had very much of a hand in, obviously.
Well, he said, I really appreciate it. You guys like the game more than the movie.
Yeah, which is great. Perfect. That's what we want.
Game.
And the other version of this, we've talked about this already, is Fallout. Perfect example of it, okay? It doesn't have to be the Fallout video game or Fallout 3 turned into a movie. Just make it something else in the Borderlands world.
The Fallout universe is definitely a lot more rich than Borderlands.
But the thing that's nice about Borderlands is every time you start a game, you're creating a new story in that world. And that could have been something that they're doing in the movie. They could have done in the movie or a series or whatever. I don't know how. And again, it's one of those things that I don't know how they would accomplish that, to be honest with you, because Borderlands is such a go over here, shoot this guy, accept the quest for money.
Yeah.
Go over here, shoot this guy, accept the quest for money. That's it, really. There's not much more to it than that. So I don't know.
It's all about the guns. Borderlands is all about the guns.
Yeah.
Right? The movie, based on the reviews and the trailers I've watched, I don't think I ever saw one gun that they focused on.
Right.
They focused on the characters and the story, but it's really about the guns and the unique guns that you can get in the game.
A trailer of you just have like one still shot of somebody's hand and there's just a bunch of guns rotating in and out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a bunch of different types of guns.
That
would have been the perfect trailer for Borderlands video game because everybody would have got
going to
that.
like a buy station and having all your inventory
just
dumped
pop out of you. Yeah. Yeah. That would have been perfect.
These little green lines and purple lines poking up from the ground.
Yeah.
Just makes a mess. The game is iconic.
Yeah, of course.
But it's just the worst. I don't know. It's like I can't think of a worse movie to make a movie, worst game to make a movie out of.
Probably maybe not the most famous, but in my opinion, the best single player looter shooter that's ever come out.
Yeah, it pretty much popularized that term.
Genre too. Yeah, the genre.
Yeah.
So
whatever.
The thing is,
like Diablo, but with guns.
Right. It's Diablo with guns. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Except it's first person.
You wouldn't have Destiny if you didn't have Borderlands.
Right.
Guaranteed.
I'm hoping that this maybe puts a stop to upcoming video games if this continues to bomb like this. And maybe they're like, maybe this isn't such a good idea.
Hollywood eats these movies like candy. They lose $250 million and they're like, guys, on to the next one.
Yeah, but there is
the next loss.
There is a certain point, though.
Get on the couch.
There is a certain point that you hit, like the original Super Mario Bros. Movie, where they're like, "Whoa, this was a really bad idea. We can't do this anymore." And then there's a delay in it, and then it takes a little while for us to even come back to the idea.
Are you talking about the live-action Mario
with John Leguizamo?
It was awesome.
Right. Nobody else at the box office.
Dennis Hopper plays Bowser.
Yeah. Right. Correct. It also could have been if they wanted to do an animated movie, that probably wouldn't have been a bad idea either. If they wanted to do that for Borderlands.
Yeah. I mean, it's very animated.
It worked for Super Mario. I mean.
Yeah. Anyways, let's freaking move on from this
Borderlands
debacle.
It's Borderland terrible.
So was that.
James review. All right, let's move on. Rise of Chinese games. Hey, guess what? Cool. China, they're making games, and they want to sell them to you a lot.
For free.
A lot. Yeah, because you'll buy the skins in the video game. That's what they love to do. And your information.
When I was younger, up until 10 years ago, Chinese games were, you had
Few and far between.
Crossfire, which was kind of like a Counter-Strike spin-off.
They made a sequel to that, too.
Yeah.
Which
it
was
was
not
an
good.
old free-to-play Counter-Strike game that we used to like. It wasn't great.
What's the one that made the resurgence? That made them realize, oh, there's a lot of money to be had here.
I don't know.
Like League, maybe? Is that?
When they purchased, it was all these iPhone games.
True.
Mobile games.
Yeah.
That's when they started to be like, hey, we can do this.
Yeah, we can make money in this.
They use the same philosophy from back in the early iPhone days with stealing everything.
Pretty much. Or at least copying it and tuning it just a little
enough.
bit.
Because Delta Force Hawk Ops is just the new Battlefield game.
Yeah.
And it looks great, by the way.
Yeah, I would play this probably.
It's free to play. You get a remake of Delta Force
Black
Hawk Down.
Yeah.
Which is an awesome PS2 game.
By the way.
Then you get an extraction, and then you get a multiplayer
game.
Like Battlefield.
It makes sense that some of these are Chinese games because some of the names are terrible.
Yeah.
Like Delta Force Hawk Ops.
Yes.
A truly awful name. Terrible.
Arena Breakout Infinite, which is basically Tarkov ripoff, and this is a very
just name an Arena Breakout.
That's the mobile version. Very big ripoff. Very big ripoff, but it's still pretty good. That also comes out today.
No, well, hey, go celebrate.
Honkai Star Rail, which has been out for a while, but it's like your Zelda type of clone, but they have captured the gacha genre, where it's just basically just throw money at it and get unique stuff. But that game's actually pretty good too. Free to play. Valorant, which is made by an American team, but
owned by Chinese company.
Black Myth Wukong, which is a Dark Souls clone.
Yeah.
But that seems to be the most unique out of all of them.
Yeah, it feels like that's the one where they were like, what if we did something original this time?
But it's just, I think it's either good or bad. I don't know. But they're here and they're dominating right now.
I think it's, at the very least, it might inspire other companies such as EA or whatever to take a leap in a different direction, or at least try to make something a lot. And I'm not saying they didn't try; it just fell flat for a lot of people. Battlefield 2042.
Well, I will say right now that Eastern developed games, have a finger on the pulse of what American and North American, even European gamers want.
Right.
Like for Battlefield, the new Battlefield game.
Yeah.
No one wanted that crap that came out 2042, but Hawk Ops, they're like, hey, I like that. I used to love Battlefield.
It's basically Battlefield, though.
Yeah. It's Battlefield.
And it's free.
Better maps and better gun,
the other thing is, too,
gunplay and gun customization and all that stuff.
The other thing is, too, with stuff like this, the reason Battlefield will never be able to match it, or at least do it at the same degree where they can do something like that and make it free, is China doesn't pay their people an exorbitant, any money. You're working for free.
You're dealing with a communist machine.
Right.
So like Tencent is the CCP, basically. Chinese Communist Party.
Right.
And they don't have IP laws over there, so you can just steal everything.
Right.
Really. That's why if you go on Amazon right now and you look up emulated machine, like handheld emulated machine, it comes with all these games.
Right.
They're completely stolen. But in China it's not illegal, so there's some sort of a loophole.
They're like, hey, we can take this and make it our own. Yeah. You can't prosecute us for it.
Eventually, the end game, I guess, like in all of communism, is just you're not going to have anything left to take from.
Well, or it comes to a point where they just, and this probably won't ever happen, but the United States is like, hey, you can't do that anymore. Or at least you can't do that and sell it in our country anymore.
Yeah, it's the only thing you could do.
But I don't imagine that would ever happen. So, I mean, it rolls on. And here's the thing. They made Valorant, and I'm like, this game's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the team in Los Angeles, Riot.
Right. It's at least a little different.
They made League of Legends before Tencent bought them. So.
Yeah. So there's at least a little bit of a difference. But Delta Force Hawk Ops, don't get it twisted. It's Battlefield.
I'm going to play it.
I'm gonna play it too, but it's just Battlefield. Like, don't
If you're
go
looking
in,
for principles,
right. Maybe don't go in and saying, understand that it happened because Battlefield cost money to make.
Battlefield fumbled it.
Yeah, they blew it.
If it wasn't for EA fumbling the franchise,
Right.
this would have never happened.
Right.
And we wouldn't have moved on. Same with Tarkov.
And if EA wanted to, just pay their workers nothing, and that wouldn't have happened. Make them work 15 hours, 20 cents an hour, then you're good. But that's not what happens. Okay, we got some morals around here, a little bit some morals. So
shave their head and sell their hair.
Right. I mean, that's just kind of how it works over sometimes in China when you have to worry about that sort of that you don't have to worry about that sort of stuff if you're an employer, like Tencent. Which is funny because I just gave them money this weekend. Because I saw a sick skin and I was like, I want that.
How much money did you pay for that skin of yours for Valorant? And I'm talking about Valorant.
I have one knife skin. I have one gun skin.
Equals about $80?
That's the price of a full price game.
Yep. Okay.
And, that's how it works.
I would make fun of you, but I played with you over the weekend, and you were pretty good.
Both sides of my mouth right now. Talking about both sides of my mouth.
James is pretty good at Valorant.
Hello, America.
It makes me want to
play more.
Have you play Counter-Strike with me?
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll talk about
But
Valve.
Black Myth Wukong.
Oh, that was a great segue, by the way.
What?
Blew it, and then you started talking about Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah.
Whatever. Go ahead.
I'm excited for Black Myth.
So am I. That looks great. I want to play that too. And and it's based on a story that's actually from Chinese culture, which is cool. It'll teach you a little bit.
Is we rag on China, but I think I love Chinese culture.
So do I. I think it's awesome. I would go to Beijing maybe.
I used to want to go to Hong Kong all the time, but not anymore.
Well, and it's a little different too. Barely counts as Chinese.
But and then moving on.
Yeah. Speaking of Counter-Strike, Valve, baby. Valve's Deadlock, both metaphorically and literally. Deadlock is a game that's coming out apparently that they have not announced.
No, but they
barely
seem
announced.
to do this lately.
And they're like, hey, we're just going to send beta codes to a bunch of random people.
Just
of something
if you ask,
never heard
you probably got them.
Yeah.
For Deadlock, which is here's the problem with Deadlock. Everybody's calling it a hero shooter. It's actually not.
It's a hero MOBA.
It's a MOBA.
Right.
All MOBAs are hero.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Except like XCOM.
But it looks like the cover and the artwork, it looks like an Overwatch clone, which is a clone of Team Fortress.
Right.
If people thought this was a hero shooter and then they were upset, all Valve had to do was put Team Fortress 3 and then everybody's like, oh, this is the greatest game ever made. But it's not. It's a MOBA, and it's called Deadlock, and there were 18,000 players concurrently the other day, and the game's not even out yet.
Yeah, it's beta.
I did some research on it. Everybody who's playing this is loving it, so it's going to be really good.
And it's going to be big at the very least.
It leads me to James. We had a conversation this morning.
Yeah.
He thinks Valve sucks, and I think
I didn't say that.
I
didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Valve industry leaders.
Valve is past their prime. Is what I'll say.
My God,
that's what they are. They're past their prime.
How dare you?
They've been one-upped by other people that make their video games a little bit better than them, and they rest on the laurels of being able to take 20% off the top of Steam, 20 to 30% off the top of Steam.
I don't know exactly what it is.
And then also a larger percentage if you're selling skins on Counter-Strike.
Yeah, the marketplace.
Right. Do they sell skins on Valorant too for if you're playing on PC?
No, Valorant has its own.
Oh, right, because it's not Valve. Sorry, I always confuse.
China.
Right. But if you have a Counter-Strike game or a Valve game and there's skins available, you can sell them through Valve. And they're like, we'll supply this marketplace for you. We'll take a little bit off the top from you.
It's not 20.
It's not.
Like
I know somebody recently. This is not a joke. I know somebody recently that bought a $3,000 knife.
Yeah.
And I should have asked him how much they took. The Steam take was.
I think it's like 5 or less than 5%.
5%, whatever.
Probably less than that.
But still, that's what they make their money on now. They don't have to worry about making games anymore, really.
Dude, I buy Steam games by selling Counter-Strike weapons.
Right. Or what? Can't you get trading cards too? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, you can sell
for
those
achievements
too.
and whatnot.
Yeah, those are very cheap. But if you have a whole bunch of them, It adds up.
They have turned into they're Amazon that likes to make games.
Okay, here's the problem. Yeah, it's true. At one point, Valve was knocking out of the park for a decade.
Games every 3 years, essentially.
But everything they do is industry leading, for sure. I mean, everything.
But they haven't done anything.
They're working on this game that we just talked about, Deadlock.
Right. But do you think this MOBA...
Counter-Strike 2 came out last year.
I barely count that.
No, you have to.
I can't believe
you. I can't believe you.
1.5.
1.5?
Go 0.5. We'll do that. There we go. Good one.
No. Go 0.5 looked a lot different than...
It's the same game.
There actually was a Go 1.5.
Did they add maps or anything like that to the game?
Yeah, they did.
How many are in the pro circuit?
1 or 2, but then they remade a lot of the old classic ones that are a lot different.
That sounds like a DLC update to me.
More like 3 new maps, 3 or 4, especially like the pro circuit maps. The game is it's a pro game. It's made for...
It's still running on...
It's Source 2. They upgraded Source 2.
Oh, okay.
They upgraded to Source 2.
Okay.
Which is a big upgrade. So Counter-Strike 2 barely runs on my computer. CSGO, I ran it at 500 frames.
Even if I get... Okay, I'll give you Counter-Strike 2. Whatever.
Yeah.
Give me another one.
A lot of games like...
Half-Life Alyx.
There was... the one that was canceled was a card game.
Yeah.
That was canceled.
Another great pick.
A lot of games are canceled under there.
Right, because
they have the time to work on it. But then
they're also like, hey, we need the tax credits.
Half-Life Alyx, the game nobody wanted.
Right, but it exists, and it's also game-changing.
Yes,
but
big time.
I would say, from the people that played Half-Life 2, I would say, and this is just me totally guessing, less than 35% of them played Half-Life Alyx. Because they don't own VR, and it came out before VR started to really pop. Would you think that would be fair? Less than 35%.
I would say at the peak of VR, almost.
That was you think so?
I don't know.
I would say no.
In terms of interest involved, now is really?
Yeah.
I think
because it's never been more accessible.
I think VR has almost plateaued, but once the new tech comes out, usually gets a bump.
I would say it's never been more accessible than it is now.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Half-Life Alyx not so accessible though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like it is. The VR system is accessible, but you can't play Alyx on a Quest or Quest 2.
Either way, I think that whatever Valve does, I think they're the most talented developers in the world. I just think so. I think that I will put my life on that.
I think they're good to a point. They were good. That's what I'm saying. Dude, they were Tom Brady 15 years ago.
Okay.
Left 4 Dead 2, Counter-Strike Go, Portal 2, Portal 1, Team Fortress 2. That's within 10 years. Give or take. Yeah. And since then, we've gotten 2 games, essentially.
Alyx, Counter-Strike, Go has been updated a lot, and then Dota 2.
Okay, but you can't use Go updates. That does not count.
Yeah, because they drastically changed.
No, I won't count that.
Whatever.
Because we can't say...
10 years, radically different from 2012 to 2023.
We can't count that. We cannot. They're updates to the game. That'd be like me saying updates with new characters in Rainbow Six Siege is a new game.
Oh, geez, it's practically a new game.
But it's not. It's the same game.
But it's been worked on heavily.
Right.
But it's not like they're
that's how live service games work, though. We can't do that for every live service game. And that's what Go is. It's a live service game.
Okay.
Just like 2. So.
Yeah. And 2 looks like...
I'll give you 2.
Okay.
I'll give you 2.
But
then it's Alyx.
Deadlock.
And then Deadlock. A magic number 3.
I know. Imagine if it was Team Fortress 3 or Left 4 Dead 3 or Half-Life 3.
I wouldn't say anything about Valve at this point. I'd be like, you know what? Hey, they're the goats.
I guarantee Half-Life 3 has been made and canceled twice or 3 times.
And you know what happened? I bet Left 4 Dead 3 was also like that. And the people who were making Left 4 Dead 3 were so upset that it kept getting canceled. They were like, we'll just do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And then they made Back 4 Blood.
Yep.
Not great. But granted.
Guess who purchased them?
Did Valve purchase them?
No, Tencent.
Oh, well, they got more money than God. So, Valve is just,
It's fake.
I just think they're now like, we're just going to be this or the marketplace will be the marketplace primarily, and then secondhand will be whatever we're making.
It's been that way for a while. I'm always interested whenever Valve's doing. I'm going to be playing the crap out of Deadlock, even though I'm not a fan of MOBA games. I like Dota 2. I liked it when it came out. It's just, it's brutal. It is made for arena style competitive rah cheering games, and it's not the type of game I'm good at.
Yeah, the thing that I think they're going to run into problem wise is you're going to have to try to pull people away from the popular MOBAs, which is the most popular type of game that there is. League, Dota.
I do
Smite.
think, from what I've read, I think that it's different enough to pull people away. It'll be accessible enough for people who like Overwatch and hero shooter type of stuff, or Valve games in general, and get them to play in it. But it's as hardcore as a MOBA, and we saw the map, and the map looks like a
city,
a giant city,
a small town. Yeah.
So with no real lane,
right,
going on.
It looks like a MOBA. I mean, I don't know. There, when's the last time? When was the MOBA reimagined?
It never has been reimagined.
Yeah,
well, Battleborn.
Yeah, that went well. That worked out well for that company.
That was 2K.
They released
Gearbox.
They also released the same day as Overwatch, though. That was their fault.
Dumb.
Yeah, not smart.
Yeah.
Hey,
speaking of
perfect example, also Blizzard. They're another one that's kind of like that.
Yeah, well, Blizzard, the MOBA started with Blizzard Games, started with Warcraft 3, and it was a user-created mod.
I'm saying in the sense that they have done kind of the same thing as Valve has done.
Yeah.
Where they made Overwatch 2, and then they've had updates for WoW, but not very many.
I can't believe you don't do that.
You can't say Blizzard, yes, Valve, no. It's the same thing.
I thought you meant like Blizzard in terms of like industry leading.
Oh, no. I mean, they were, sure. WoW was incredible. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Warcraft
was incredible.
Of
Diablo.
Course. Absolutely. I'm not going to argue with
Overwatch.
that. I'm not going to argue with that. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, I got that.
Another example, and I'm totally on board, if you're going to come at me with this, Rockstar. I agree. They used to make actual video games in between Grand Theft Auto, other than just Red Dead. We were getting L.A. Noire. We were getting Bully. We were getting
Warriors.
A damn ping pong game.
Max Payne.
They were making things. I would 100% agree with you. And now, reportedly, Grand Theft Auto 6 is $2 billion in the hole, and we're 10 years into this stupid project, and it costs more than the Manhattan Project did.
You're right.
And it's taken double the time to make the video game.
Also, in the news as well, I didn't write it down, but Red Dead Redemption, the first one, is coming to PC. Finally, after 14 years. Good job.
Thank you, Rockstar. Thank you, Rockstar. Wow, dude.
Everybody on PC is going to be...
New game.
They've been playing Red Dead 2 for a while. Redemption 2.
And now they're getting the old one?
And they're going to get the old one. No one's going to...
Stupid.
Unless it comes with an RP mode.
Rockstar, same thing. I'll give you Rockstar. Absolutely the same issue that I have. Rockstar maybe even worse, to be honest with you.
I don't think Rockstar... I think they make open world games better than everybody else, but they don't have the versatility as Valve.
They don't have a marketplace. They don't have... I would say
they can literally make a marketplace inside the game that would probably be more popular than Steam.
And they kind of do. I mean, because you can go get like cars and stuff in the marketplace and whatnot.
Kind of.
But I would say they used to be Valve in that sense as well, where they could make, we're going to do a Skull Bully game. We're going to do a ping pong game. We're going to do a classic noir detective game. We're going to do a game about an alcoholic who lost his wife.
One thing before we move on from Valve is I really like how Valve uses community-made projects as their own. Black Mesa, you didn't put in. That was a remake of Half-Life 1. Started out as a mod, and then they were, hey, this looks really good.
Right.
You want all kinds of money?
You do all the work, and we'll buy it.
Yeah, that's how Valve started. They have stuck by their principles since day one.
But that's such a...
I love Valve. Whatever you do, Valve, I'll buy.
Here's the thing. What if Valve just made something?
Well,
instead of relying on the community to be like, hey, just use our engine and make whatever you want, and we might buy it.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever, Valve.
This guy's such a hater.
Just keep selling your skins and your garbage novels on Steam.
Gabe Newell. I know you're listening.
Yeah, very popular listener. God knows he's not doing anything else. All right, let's move on.
All right.
Notable games releasing this week. That's it for the news. So
notable games, dude. Stacked week.
Big week for gamers.
Holy jeez.
Big week.
Finally. How long has it been? A month?
Yeah,
2 months?
It's been a little bit since we had some actual video games to talk about.
I'm gonna bang these out.
Bang them out.
You stop and tell me I'm gonna buy it.
Okay.
Arena Breakout Infinite, finally, out
Actually,
of beta, is now open for everybody to play.
This is the Chinese game we were talking about earlier, the extraction shooter.
Yep.
Also coming out next to another extraction shooter.
Yep.
Level 0 Extraction. You sent me the trailer for this, and I was like, oh my God. Evolve came out at the worst time.
Yeah, it did, actually.
Dude, I wish Evolve was still around.
Yeah, you're right. It did. Man. It was way ahead of its time. It's
basically a co-op, or not Evolve. This game, Level 0 Extraction. Co-op shooter, extraction shooter, where you're basically fighting against mutants, monsters, essentially, that are also player-controlled.
Yeah, we mentioned a couple weeks ago.
PvP.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. But man, it made me miss Evolve, because Evolve was so cool.
It definitely has the same art style.
Yeah.
It looks like an extraction shooter in the alien world with...
That's a good comparison. More, I would say, well, one map is like the Thing world, because it's all frozen and Arctic and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. This game looks great.
Okay.
Yeah,
I had a different reaction to this game, unfortunately. I thought it looked pretty, like, basic. I thought, like, a lot of whenever they zoomed in on, like, the character models and stuff, I was like, oh, this looks like Back 4 Blood a little bit.
Oh, I hope not.
So it only comes out with 2 maps too, which made me a little nervous as well.
Well, it's an extraction shooter, so
you're right. Touché.
2 maps is good enough.
Yeah. I'm thinking too much multiplayer. Fine, that's fair.
Like, imagine Call of Duty only has 1 map with their extraction.
Oh, okay.
DMZ.
I thought you were talking multiplayer. I was like, they might burn down Activision.
Yeah, I know. The next one, Dark and Deep. I don't think I've ever talked to you about that.
Good name.
It's not about what's in your pants.
Nice.
It is
This is a weird name.
Very strange game.
Are you submarining?
Shout out to our other podcast from Sheridan Media, Jackalopes Explore, which is a conspiracy podcast, talk about everything, aliens and stuff. This is a video game, Dark and Deep, about a podcaster who has a conspiracy podcast who goes on leads and gets really involved in some nasty, weird horror stuff.
This sounds awesome. You sold me.
So the trailer ended with him doing a spot on his podcast. He's like,
oh man, what if you have to write it?
Yeah, they're like, this goes out to. He's like, this is brought to you by like Mayo, and thank you for Duke's Mayo.
You're doing fake.
Yeah,
you're doing fake ad reads and stuff. That's funny.
It's actually pretty clever, very clever.
So
game.
Is it like detective kind of? Like you're trying to figure out the conspiracies?
Yeah, there's a lot of puzzles. Yes,
I'm in. This sounds kind of cool. I like that.
The trailer looks strange, but it's cool.
I mean, I'll look up the trailer.
Okay. Madden 25. Cool. You ever heard of that game?
Madden. No.
That comes out.
That's new. Madden, the second Madden 25.
Yeah, that's what's hilarious, by the way. If you look up, go to IGN or something.
Yeah.
Anywhere you read reviews and type in Madden 25 review, and it'll probably be the most popular review on the website. Yet it's from 2013.
Yeah, the 2013 Madden 25. It's so funny that they're just like, yeah.
And people can't tell the difference. They're like, wow, IGN gave it an 8.5. That's pretty good.
Even though the cover athlete too on the front of the cover for Madden 25 from 2013 has been retired for like 4 years.
It's Barry Sanders.
No, well, there's 2. That's the 360.
Yeah.
The Xbox One upgraded version or whatever is Adrian Peterson. He hasn't been around for 4 or 5 years. So
yeah, that guy sucks. I heard that guy was a bad running back.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah.
All right.
I know it's your favorite.
I was gonna catch a right hook, dog. That's my favorite player growing up. Yeah. I became a Vikings fan because
Barry Sanders is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
for sure.
He went to Oklahoma though, not Barry Sanders. Adrian Peterson did. That's why I loved him
Barry
so
Sanders went to
Oklahoma State. Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, Stormgate,
which is an RTS, competitive RTS, kind of. It's in between
competitive RTS.
Yeah, it's in between StarCraft.
That's an oxymoron.
It's in between StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3.
All right,
this looks really good. Apparently, not getting the greatest reviews, but
Stormgate, cool name. I'll give him that.
It does have a cool name.
It reminds me of
Blizzard-esque.
Okay. Like the Storm, like the type of Blizzard, like a type of Blizzard, like Storm-wise? Or are you talking about the developer?
The developer. No, I'm talking about the
talking Blizzard
ice creams you get at...
oh, yummy. Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen, there you go.
Sponsored by Dairy Queen. No, not really. Not really.
Hey, Dairy Queen?
If you want to.
I love your burgers.
We'll eat Blizzards on... Hey. I will eat a Blizzard on this podcast if that became a thing.
Here you go. Dairy Queen, real quick. Dairy Queen, where I'm from, is disgusting. Here, fantastic. Best fast food in town.
By the way, not paid for. We're not we're not advertising monetarily with Dairy Queen.
Yo, Dairy Queen.
We can't do that. Well, we can, but we're not doing it right now.
I'll eat a burger right here.
I will too.
Everybody.
Green hell. That's what I call a late night after eating Taco Bell. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god. Green hell is finally coming to consoles.
I don't know what this is.
It's a survival game. What are they called when you build stuff?
Oh, I almost said building survival game.
Yeah, pretty much.
But like 7 Days to Die is what I immediately think of. Okay.
And it's been out on PC and VR and mobile forever. Finally coming to consoles. Yeah. It's actually a pretty good game.
Oh, just kidding.
It's a good survival building game, whatever you call it.
Building survival
All right,
game.
now here's for the old heads.
Sins of a Solar Empire 2.
Yeah, finally, after, 22 years?
Don't ask me. I've never heard of this video game in my entire life.
Sins of a Solar Empire is a RTS, a space RTS. Awesome game.
This sounds like a Star Wars movie.
Apparently, this game, the sequel is not very good, but I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's filled with bugs, but
it's 2024.
Who knows? It's 2024. It's probably half made, and they released it.
Half-baked.
But I like it. I love the original one, so I got to shout this one out. All right.
And then the big one.
Black Myth Wukong is finally coming out. I thought it was going to be delayed. I actually
We're here.
It was. And it's here. It comes out
they're working,
1 week from today.
They're working 18-hour shifts over there. I guarantee it. And sleeping at the office.
Yeah. And there's nets.
Yeah. You can't leave.
Outside their windows.
Yeah.
So you can't jump out.
They have this thing called security towers.
Yeah.
That's made it. We're saying they built it in prison.
They have these things called Kalashnikovs.
Kalashnikov.
And they shoot you. All right. No,
so Black Myth, we're probably going to play it. I want to play it.
I'm definitely going to play it.
It's on Xbox One and PlayStation.
I don't know. I think it's only on PlayStation.
Is it?
I don't know. Should have wrote that down, huh?
For all your news,
we're
come
pros
here.
over here. Professional.
All right. That's what's coming out. Shout out all of them. I don't know if I'm going to play Madden 25. I want to play Dark and Deep.
Will.
That sounds cool.
You
sold that really well. Yeah. I want to play that. Okay.
Me too. It won't be. It'll be a budget price too. So.
Is it? What's it like perspective wise?
First person.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right, I'm in.
And weird perspectives in there too.
What we're playing. Sorry.
Hey, what are you playing, James?
What am I playing? Right now, I'm playing Valorant. Still playing Valorant, having fun, shooting things,
the game's good,
smokes.
Dude. Told you when that game comes out, it's going to dominate everything.
Pretty cool. Still playing CFB, and I started a new game last night.
Really?
Not a new game.
Not a new game.
Trying to complete this because I've been saying I've been trying to complete it for so long.
Oh, wait,
I'm going to do it. I'm going to sit down and do it.
Fear?
It's a trilogy? No. It's a trilogy. You made me play Fear 2.
I know.
Which, you
don't have a disc drive. So I can't give you Fear 1.
Oh, right. Batman.
Oh, the Arkham series?
Arkham games. I'm going to sit down and play them. There's actually 4 of them, technically.
Yeah, Origin.
Right.
You're going to skip that one?
I don't really talk about that one. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to play them. I started Arkham Asylum last night again. I think the 3rd time I started that game. Beat up some bad guys, countered some bad guys. It does do that thing that really annoys me. It always does. It gives me, hey, you can go through here, but not right now.
Hey, listen.
Hate it. I hate it. But making mental notes, gonna come back. I found a place where you could put down the explosive gel and you could blow it up. Guess what? I don't have the explosive gel, so now it's just taunting me.
Yeah, here's some advice. Don't go into detective mode.
Why? Because it gives you all the things that you can't get? Okay, great.
It's just you can play the entire game in that mode, detective mode, where it's all blue and you can see through stuff.
That's true. Yeah,
just don't play it in there. Don't use it. It's fun.
But I want to.
You can find
He's
the walls.
the world's greatest detective.
You can find the walls. Just look at the walls. They look different. What about that one? Looks like it'll blow up.
What about the Riddler clues?
No, you're gonna.
I love those.
You're gonna need to look for those.
Yeah,
with that.
Those are fun. I like those.
Yeah, it is. That game is a very cool Castlevania game, just with Batman.
Castlevania game.
Yep.
What does that mean?
It's exactly like a Castlevania game.
Yeah, but
the Arkham Asylum is basically the castle of Castlevania.
But I always assumed Castlevania games were just like that's the perspective. It's not top down.
No, it's side scrolling.
Side scroller. Thank you.
Yeah.
Side scroller, and it's
but the gameplay loop is like you get to a spot, then you go. I need this to get there, and then you get.
So that's what I
upgrade
hate.
your weapons.
Oh,
yeah,
all right, Castlevania. You ruined video games.
yeah. I understand. It's an old wave.
I don't like. I've never liked that, but
You're like, what do I do here? Well, go back and find the weapon that gets you past.
You have to go further.
Yeah.
I can't though. There's this here. You got to come back to go. You got to go forward to come back.
Yeah, it's true.
Ragnarok did that too.
Ragnarok did it way worse than everybody.
Annoying, dude.
Very annoying. My gosh.
You know what? I hate you, Castlevania. How about that? Apparently, you made a good show on Netflix, but I'm never going to watch it.
Is that what you're playing?
Castlevania? Yeah. No. Batman. And CFB and Valorant. Yep. The big three.
Guess what I'm playing?
Probably some like
Castlevania Collection.
Oh,
Speaking
wow,
of Castlevania, me and my son have been watching Angry Video Game Nerd, even though he curses a lot. I get it.
Right.
My son, whatever. I curse in front of my son, so
he's either going to learn at home
he's
or
got to learn
school.
not to say these things. So whatever, you got to learn sometime. But it's hilarious, and he reviewed Castlevania a couple times, and it was hilarious. My son laughed a lot, and he wanted to play it. And I was like, dude, I have this game. And it's not so frustrating because when you die, you can just rewind.
Yeah.
Or load. You can save scrub.
And you were like, you see this wall? We can't get through that yet.
No.
We have to keep going through the game.
Yeah. Go back.
And then come back.
Nah, we were playing the older ones. That started with like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. The older ones are more straightforward.
Okay.
Unless you count Castlevania 2, which is very
I don't
cryptic.
count any of them.
Anyways, playing that. Love those old Nintendo games. Now, I started a game that I've always wanted to play.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes.
You start a lot of games.
I do.
I'm realizing this.
I play a lot of games.
Yeah. Crazy.
Sherlock Holmes games? You've heard of them?
Yeah.
I like them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've never played them. I'm always interested. I love Sherlock Holmes, man. I got a sweet spot for...
Sherlock's awesome. Just like the character.
Yeah.
I've never really liked the games, to be honest.
The reduction stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That was kind of the invention of the detective novel, more or less.
Sure.
Whatever his name is. What's his name?
There'd be no Batman. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. That guy. Where he lives on 222B Baker Street.
Yeah, close enough. No, you messed me up if you wouldn't have said that.
What's his name?
It's like 1-4. Oh, gosh.
22, whatever. Dude.
Whatever.
And his dog's name is Toby.
What's his sidekick's name?
Watson.
There you go. Good
I used to
job.
watch.
Sidekick.
Funny enough, one of my favorite shows. One of my favorite shows when I was a kid was the Sherlock Holmes, but it's in the future.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite shows as a kid.
We were talking about earlier. I love every rendition of Sherlock, like the Guy Ritchie movies. Yeah. I like the older ones. I like the just with the hat and the pipe. Yeah. Walking around.
To be fair, it's kind of hard to mess up. Like if you mess up a Sherlock Holmes movie, you really got to mess up
out of your way to mess it up. All right. Then I'm playing Sherlock Holmes Awakened, by the way, which is very Lovecraftian.
Okay.
It's like Sherlock Holmes with H.P. Lovecraft. I love it.
It's like the H.P. Lovecraft video game that came out, that name I can't remember, but it's just Sherlock Holmes instead of the other guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Moriarty?
No. The H.P. Lovecraft detective game, you played it recently, where you're in like a city that's underwater.
Yes.
Can't remember the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about.
It's based off of
HP.
Shadow over Innsmouth.
Right. Whatever.
But it's called The Sunken City.
Sunken City. Thank you. Anyways.
Right. So, Mafia, the remaster or remake.
Yeah.
Game's awesome.
It's great. The remake is fantastic.
30 frames, baby.
It's the remake is great. The remake is fantastic.
It's really good. I like the story a lot. And I restarted the game.
It's probably the best story of any of them, which is crazy.
Plus, I give it to Odin in the free roam version, and I make him go the speed limit.
Nice. You put the speed limiter on?
And it's very hard to run over pedestrians in this game.
That's what we hate.
So, he could play it.
Perfect. It's like Crazy Taxi, but not
The gunplay is kind of wonky, but when the story is really good,
it doesn't
matter. Direction is really good. It drives you forward to keep playing. I like it. I love the feel of the cars. They're so heavy. So cool.
Because they were back then.
Yep. All right. Now on to the big boys.
Yeah.
Doom 3. Gosh, I love this game. Doom 3 is so underappreciated. It's ridiculous. It's probably better than Doom 2016. I said it.
Okay.
I said that. It's more of a horror game, but...
You want to know why Half-Life ruined video games? Is because everybody tried to do Half-Life, including Doom 3.
No, Doom 3 did not try to do Half-Life. But what Doom 3 did do is release at the same time as Half-Life 2.
Right.
So it got swallowed up for sure.
It's not a Doom game.
Yeah, you can argue that.
Yeah, it might as well be Prey.
It is close to Doom 64, which Doom 64 is what a lot of people regard as Doom 3.
Right.
The proper Doom 3. It's because it's a lot more atmospheric, less like heavy metal, and more slower, scarier. So Doom 3 is just, the graphics are great. Shadows play a big role. Lots of monster closets, which is like you walk forward and there's no one in front of you. And all of a sudden you turn around and a demon's like scratching your face.
Yeah,
and you can see that a closet had opened up behind you as you walk by.
It's just not Doom.
No, but it's
not Doom at all.
Very atmospheric. I love it. It's awesome. And then Doom 1 and 2 were re-released on Xbox and PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. That was big news.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's basically a bunch of mod support. Yeah, that you could download. You can do co-op now, local co-op. Yeah, which is awesome. Playing Doom 2 with Odin. He loves Doom, and now I can finally, instead of saying, "Go through that door," no, not that door. That door. That's not a door, Odin. That's a wall.
You're just
He's
showing
like,
him.
It looks the same. I don't understand.
He's like, I don't get it. In Castlevania, I can go through this, but then I have to come back.
He calls Doom a Nintendo game, which I think is funny.
He's right.
But now he can just follow me, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And then they changed the music. They changed a whole bunch of stuff. We already, Night Dive Studios, my boys, they even made a mod for this game.
They don't know us.
They do. They listen all the time.
They don't know us.
They're obviously reading my mind.
Now you can show them the Doom movie with Carl Urban and Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Who else is in the movie? Oh, Rosamund Pike is in that movie for some reason, who's amazing.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, you do.
You just made up a name.
No, you know who that is.
All right. And finally, I'm playing The Witcher 2. And I played it for about 15 hours already.
Witcher 2?
I love The Witcher 2.
Is it better than 3?
In my opinion,
wow.
I don't know. No, I don't know. Here's the thing. With Witcher 2, I think the story's way better. Way better. 3 is almost a continuation of the story.
Witcher 3 is kind of just a long fetch quest.
Witcher 2 is it's a story of Geralt in a small section of the overall story, if you catch my drift. Plus, it's not open world, but they do have multiple areas.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not open world. Yeah. They have multiple areas that are gigantic. Yeah. And some areas that you can't access unless you make the right decisions or wrong decisions.
It's like Fable.
No.
Except bigger in terms of open world,
I guess. No, because I don't know. Fable is
it's like you go through a door and you're in this area for a little bit, and then you exit through the other door.
It's like that, I guess grander.
A lot bigger. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. I guess you can kind of classify that as every open world game, really.
I guess you can almost say Witcher 3 is the same as Witcher 2, but Witcher 3's worlds or lands are just way massive.
Right.
And it's designed as a open world game, as like a Grand Theft Auto style game.
Yeah.
But Witcher 2 is designed as just a story focused decision making game.
Are there any types of unicorn scenes?
No, they mention it a couple times though. You don't see
Witcher
Yennefer.
2?
Yeah, you don't see Yennefer, but there's a lot of references to the books, which is what that unicorn scene is. Also, Triss is in it.
Triss.
And Triss is, spoilers.
That's the redhead.
This is why I don't understand why people love Triss. Triss is messing with you throughout this entire game. She knows who you are. She knows who Yennefer is. You, as Geralt, you can't remember Yennefer. You have flashbacks of her in your previous life, but you've died because the game Witcher 1 takes place after the books. In the books, he dies, and in the game, they take over and like, hey, you actually didn't die. You come back. The Wild Hunt revives you. Blah, blah, blah. You lose your memory. Therefore, here comes all these games. But you have all these characters in the game, and they're messing with you. They know who you are, and they're just like pretending they don't.
Oh, it's like that.
Like Memento.
Oh yeah, well, except I guess, yeah, you're right. It is Memento.
Short-term memory. Awesome. You have long-term memory loss.
It's like Born Identity.
Yeah, exactly. It's really cool. I just love the story. The Letho is the bad guy, and he's the best bad guy in Witcher ever.
I don't even know who is the bad guy in 3.
The Wild, yeah, good question. It's the Wild Hunt, and then the witches of the little town.
Okay,
that's I guess.
Shout out Witcher 3 and 2. And 1.
Witcher 2 is great. The combat, I was going to say the combat of Witcher 3 is better.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Witcher 1, the rare epilogue before there's even a full game beforehand.
Yeah.
Shout out Witcher.
Witcher 1 was made on the same engine as Mass Effect 1.
Oh.
So it looks like Mass Effect.
Yeah. I'm in
swinging the sword constantly.
I like Witcher.
I think Witcher 1 was going to be remade, I believe.
Witcher, or the thing about Mass Effect 1 too is for me anyways, everything else outside of like a lot of the dialogue was not very good. Like doesn't feel very good. Like a lot of the combat feels kind of janky. Mass Effect 1. I'm talking about 1.
The collection fixed all that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when it first came out. I played it on the 360.
It was definitely more of an RPG.
Yeah.
It was more of a Knights of the Old Republic style.
Right. Yeah, it didn't. And I'm imagining that now with like swords.
Like, why is my reticle of my assault rifle so giant? I can't shoot anything.
What is
this?
Like,
that's because your guy has pistol ability.
Yeah.
You shouldn't grab an assault rifle. It's like, so I have to use the pistol the entire time? Yes.
Welcome to RPGs.
Yeah.
And that's when everybody was like, this game sucks.
I liked it.
I love Witcher. I love Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 1's amazing.
I think
the story's incredible.
The Mass Effect 1, just like Witcher 2, has a more focused story.
Okay. I see what you're saying. You're one part of a bigger collective.
Exactly.
Right. Gotcha. That makes sense. All right. Well,
that's it.
We're
that's
done.
All I have.
That's
we're
it.
Cutting it short.
We're a little short, but
it took us like 5 hours to set up.
Yeah, every week. You don't see what happens behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, and
we do a lot of work.
You're lucky for that. I'll be honest with you. All right. That's it. We're back next week. We might talk about a little bit about Wukong, Black Myth Wukong. We played that a little bit. And some of the other games that are come out, Dark and Deep, I might try that out.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you my long-awaited review of Arkham Asylum.
Guess what, James?
What?
Dark and Deep is coming for PC only. Do you have a PC?
Why did you not say that on the first hand? I'm not going to give you any single review of Dark and Deep because I don't have a PC.
I'll play it.
Thanks, Gabe.
Thanks, Gabe.
Love you, dude. All right. See you guys next week.